Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and I'm the host of the podcast, The Truth That Heals. So for those of you who are new to my channel, just a quick introduction. I used to be in an environment which was very culty. It was a religious group, and it became culty. And I was there for 11 years. But when I got out, which was 7 years ago, the first 2 years, I didn't want to acknowledge that the things that happened there were culty. But what opened my eyes was watching TV, watching a docuseries on A&E, Hulu called Cults and Extreme Beliefs. And watching this made my thought process, it got me going. Not crazy, but it got me thinking that what I went through was pretty culty. So what I started doing was looking into the experiences of other people who were in different cults and kind of compare what were the similarities in their experiences and in my experiences. And I've discovered that many of our experiences are very similar. So after I see this docuseries, Cults and Extreme Beliefs, I started to understand, I think I was in a cult. So I started reading the accounts of other survivors from other cults, listening to their podcasts, their stories, especially on the Cult Vault podcast, which I found very helpful in my own healing journey. And as I started to do my research, do my reading, do my listening, and watch other videos on YouTube, I started to see a comparison where many of my experiences really were culty. And today I wanted to talk about something in particular because in cults, they use the power of theater, of movies, as a way to either manipulate or to, I don't want to, brainwash, but to get you in a position where you're highly influenced, and they put a lot of fear. So in some cults, they don't use any movies. I think sometimes depending on the cult, movies may be completely banned. In other cults, they use the power of movie to bring fear, to bring that unhealthy fear of life itself, of living a normal life, fear that every moment you will be in damnation and you're going straight to hell. So all of this fear. And in my group, I think it was a bit of a mixture, because in my community, even now as I'm sharing this, it's kind of hard to process and it's kind of hard to share, but I still want to share it so you can all be part of my journey. So in my community, it was half religious-y and half culty. So like the religious side, we would watch movie of the saints, and it was a very simple life. And as a religious, it seemed very normal and it wasn't extreme. But then the culty side, I remember it became extreme with a lot of fear, and that's where I think the culty side gets in. So I wanted to break down a little bit more about how movies were culty in my community. So as I said earlier, in some communities or cults, they may not be allowed to watch any movies. And in our religious community, we were allowed to watch movies of the saints. Now, the culty part was when we would be allowed with the founder to watch secular or worldly movies only with him or with a special superior. And we could watch these movies. However, we would watch it inside the chapel, which was kind of weird because in the chapel, it's supposed to be a place of prayer, but we would watch our movies on the projector, on the screen, pretty much like you're inside the church with the Blessed Sacrament exposed and all of that. So it was kind of awkward, but we didn't say anything because he was the founder and he can do whatever he wants because he's supposedly a canon lawyer and he knows his stuff. So anyways, I remember on one experience, we watched 2 movies. The first movie was Constantine. So if you've seen the movie Constantine, it's about this guy. I don't want to do no spoilers, but it's about this guy who I guess exorcises demons. I need to rewatch this movie, and I'll explain to you in a minute. And the second movie that we watched was I Am Legend with with Will Smith. And I need to rewatch these movies because when I saw it in that environment, yes, we're watching worldly movies. However, you're not entirely watching it because, okay, going back to Constantine, I watched it. We all watched it, but as we're watching it, the founder has his microphone and he's talking over the movie. So he could be a great YouTuber for movie breakdowns. So hey, if you're watching, just maybe something you can do besides being culty. So anyways, we were watching this movie Constantine, and it's about like this guy who's Keanu Reeves. He has, I guess, this power to exorcise demons, and in every moment, the founder, Father Bing, he'll grab his microphone and he's telling us, yeah, you see, all these demons. That's what's happening in true life. When you're out on the missions, demons are following you. That's why you have to have these holy water and exorcise salt, and that's why you need to do the deliverance prayers every day, every hour. And it became we weren't watching the movie. We were listening to Father Bing, and at the same time, the next day we watched I Am Legend, and that pushed his narrative of the end of the world. Because as we're watching this movie, the ideas that we're getting from Father Bing is that the end of the world is going to come, and that we need to prepare ourselves. We need to be preppers. We need to be safe, protect ourselves, and the end of the world will be here at any time. So you may be wondering, why is it that I'm sharing my experiences of watching movies in the religious cult here on YouTube? And I'm sharing it because I think that it's good to talk about it. I think for me personally, I think it's stupid for me to pretend that these things never happened. And so, it did happen, and it wasn't, too crazy. I know other people in other cults, they had crazy movie experiences where it was just a lot of fear. I don't think mine was, insane, but it was just a little bit crazy being inside the chapel in front of the Blessed Sacrament in the church. And we're watching these rolling movies, which I think isn't appropriate. For as a Catholic, and it's supposed to be a church, and then you're making it into a theater. But the thing is that with the founder, he could do whatever he wants, and that's what happens in other communities, other cults as well, where their founders, their leaders do pretty much whatever they want, and they're able to bend the rules. So we would be watching movies like, as I said, I was about to say Constantine and I Am Legend. So we would be watching these movies, but as I'm saying, we would be watching it with the commentary of Father Bing, and he would be using his commentary to really drill fear, and not only fear, but a need of urgency, that his way is the best way. His way is the only way, and it would be kind of funny because there's like a scene where Keanu Reeves is raising his hand. He's laying his hand on some possessed person, and he's saying some stuff, and you can tell by reading their lips that not every word is a good word. Sometimes he'll say a few bad words, and then Father Bing, he's like dubbing it, and he's like, here, he's saying, I bless you, and may God, Jesus, and Mary. And it's like, he's not being honest, but you have to kind of dumb your mind a bit. And that happened constantly, where he would say things where I don't know if he was joking around or what, but you had to dumb your mind and to see it in his perspective. And that's what I would do very constantly, dumb my mind. Even though it was obvious, Keanu Reeves wasn't saying, "May Jesus and Mary bless you," may the demons come out. It wasn't like that, but it was still for the members. We were having a lot of fun because it was very rare that we would watch movies, especially secular movies, worldly movies. And I say it was very rare because, and this is where it gets kind of confusing for me, because in some communities within my group, we could watch movies and it wouldn't be much of a problem. They would be screened, and we just block out a few parts, but the rest, it would be normal and it would be fine. And then there were other superiors who were like, for example, if you're on the plane and a movie is showing, or if you're on the bus and the TV is on and you look up and you watch, you are going to be committing a mortal sin. So for those of you who don't know what a mortal sin is, a mortal sin pretty much basically is if you die in that state of having that sin on your soul, you're going to go straight to hell. And so it was just so ridiculous how, just looking up and watching the screen, I would have this fear that I'm going to hell. And then, then you have Father Bing showing us movies, and he's, dubbing it, and he's doing his own narrative, his own breakdown. And then we'd be watching news, just negative news, and they would twist it where, you see, the end of the world is coming. There's about to be a war, and there's about to be the end times. So we need to start getting ready for the end times. And how they would twist all these, movies, and we were in a place of a lot of fear. Now I'm a different person, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my experiences. And now I love movies. I watch movies all the time. For me, it's an adventure, and sometimes it's looking at someone else's journey. And I love storytelling. So for my next few YouTubes, I do want to share some of my movie reactions, and it's going to be through the lens of someone like me. Me is going to be through my lens of being a survivor in a cult, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Peace out, y'all.